If you're somebody that's looking to do more than just scrape by, make do, or make ends meet, then let's have a conversation about how you can do it. Hello and welcome to the Durham Talents channel. My name is Jesse Durham. We're back for another installation into our quotes series where we address some financial quote and we do it with an infinite banking lens. The quote that we're going to address today is making ends meet. Now it seems that the etymology here goes back to the 1600s in England. It's probably tied to tailoring, taking the ends of threads, material to tie together, to bring together, making garments, etc. And there are these synonyms of scrape by, make do, get by, but it simply means to meet one's day-to-day needs. So making ends meet just means to meet your day-to-day needs. Now, immediately when I thought of, and you let me know down in the comment section if you've heard this saying, use this saying, making ends meet. But when I thought of this saying in the context of the infinite banking concept, I naturally thought of Nash's very first human problem that he addressed. So there's no question, this is a human problem. This dilemma that we can find ourselves in of making ends meet, scraping by, and that is addressing Parkinson's law. So Parkinson had this law that said that when given a certain time envelope, we naturally tend to use that entire time to accomplish the given task, regardless of whether we needed that full amount of time or not. Also, another part of his law says that we tend to spend what we earn. Nowadays, of course, you can go right by that with credit being what it is now and live in financial slavery, live making ends meet. So I wasn't told about Parkinson's law growing up. Perhaps you weren't either. So what I'm saying is if we don't want to live a making ends meet lifestyle, we certainly must address that first of the human problems, which is Parkinson's law. We need to learn and to discipline ourselves to live on less than we make. That may not be popular. I'm not trying to tune anybody out, but there are other rules that build on that one, like the golden rule, for example. He who has the gold makes the rules. It's a tool. It's an ability. It's a capacity. If you've got the gold, you can make the rules. If you discipline yourself, you can have capital for X, Y, or Z, investing, etc., what have you. And certainly nobody is conventionally talking about banking, about who controls the banking function in your life. You see, that saying of making ends meet, that fits within the picture that Nash describes in his book, Becoming Your Own Banker, of the average American. The average American is bleeding out interest dollars to the tune of about 34.5%, okay? So about a third of every dollar that we earn, we're paying out in interest. And that's money that forever leaves our hands. And I know that plenty of folks cringe, not everybody, but plenty of folks cringe when I use that phrase, bleeding out interest dollars. That's actually why I use it. That's actually why I'm repeating it right now, because it's probably going to stick in your mind like it was sticking in my mind when I first heard it said that way. So the average American is bleeding out interest dollars. That's money that forever leaves our family. So we wonder how we could be pursuing productively wonderful careers and being proactive and following the conventional wisdom of put money over here, park it in these government qualified plans, put money in the bank, conventionally finance, all those different things. And we're not getting to the root of the issue, which is who controls the banking function in your life. Look at those interest dollars that are leaving your family. Look at how you're setting yourself up to be beholden to the conventional, the commercial banking system when you could be doing that for yourselves. You know, speaking on that parking of money. So you could be your own banker. This is an example that I've used many times before, and I feel like I might have gotten away from it, so I'm going to say it again. Why is it that we're told to park our money for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, what have you, in the banks, in these government qualified programs, when we would never do with the things that money buy what we're told to do with money? Here's what I'm saying if that was too fast. Would you ever go and buy a gallon of milk or a loaf of bread and then put it away for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and then try and consume it? No. Why then are we told to do that with our money? If our money is only a means of exchange, meaning we exchange money for gasoline, milk, bread, vacations, what have you, whatever it is that we're doing in our life, money's just a means of exchange. We exchange that for the things that we want and that we do in life. And if we wouldn't do it with a gallon of milk, why would we ever do that 10 years over here, 20 years over there, 30 years over there? You know, I watched an interview recently by John Stossel, really interesting guy, does really neat work, very thought-provoking. And he had done, or he had looked at some study on unemployment, for example. And there was a certain amount of time given where you could receive unemployment benefits in this time. And would you make a guess, I wonder, at what point along that time frame that folks would begin to actually apply for jobs and try and procure income for themselves again outside of the unemployment, when the unemployment was getting ready? I mean, just which end of the spectrum do you think that happened more on, when they first began to receive benefits, or, yep, you guessed it, right there at the very end, right there at the end of the time that was allotted for someone to receive unemployment benefits, is when they started getting a job, or when they started changing their incomes. I'm just saying it's a real interesting thought, and it's certainly an issue that we all must confront. It's a human problem. It's Parkinson's law. You have to deal with it. I have to deal with it. And we have to constantly deal with this issue, or concede to living a life of just making ends meet. So these are things that the common man is overlooking, or these conversations are not being had everywhere like I believe they should be. And here you are, so I'm glad that you're here. And if you would indeed like to do better than just making ends meet, and you would like to have a conversation about how to implement the infinite banking concept into your household or your business or your investing, then I look forward to that conversation. Don't hesitate to reach out. And I hope you have a great day. Take care.
I guess, yeah, I'm just scraping by, making do, getting by. Oh, just making ends meet.